So today I'm going to be talking about the Calcarea Carbonica Constitution, or Calcs for short. But first, my name is Stacey and I'm a Heilkunst practitioner and creator of the Express Your Truth 8-Step Emotional Empowerment Program. And I have been doing a 6-part series on Heilkunst constitutions, or Heilkunst personality types. And if you want to know what constitutions are, you can check that out here, and I'll leave that link in the description box below as well. And so today I'm starting the final constitution, and I'm going to be telling you all about Calcs, which are fantastic. I love Calcs. They are so earthy and so grounded and really reliable, loyal people. So Calcs, like silicas, which I have done a video on before, can be kind of slow. So the Calc remedy is a remedy I use with children a lot, when they have delayed teething. It helps sort of children come into their own, the Calc remedy, which is really neat. And Calcs, as a personality, they really like to stay children. Like they don't love coming into the responsibility of adulthood. They're not great with change. They are the type that, would stay in a position for 20 years and perhaps even refuse promotions because they don't like change. They just want to stay with what they're familiar with. And so they're very homey, simple people. They really like the simple life. They love the sensual pleasure of eating food, and they would love to just stay home and spend the weekend with their family. Family is very important to them, much in the same way family is important to Pulsatilla. They're very nurturing people. And so Phosphorus, which I've also spoken about, and Pulsatilla, they're both nurturing as well. So all three of them are nurturing, but Calc is a bit more, because they're grounded. They're so grounded that they don't take on other people's stuff. So like a phosphorus constitution, phosphorus really struggle with taking on other people's things, like their other people's emotions, other people's stuff, because they're so sensitive, and so they're like an antenna picking up on everybody else's stuff. Whereas Calc's not like that. They are sensitive and they are emotional, but more grounded. And so they can be nurturing and take care of people without losing themselves in that. And so they can be very nurturing in relationships without losing who they are in that relationship. Whereas, Phosphorus can take on other people's stuff, and then Pulsatilla can become kind of dependent on other people, whereas a Calc wouldn't do that. And so they're very reliable people as well. They're, like I said, they're emotional, but they're not going to be, because of that earthiness, that groundedness, they're not going to be sort of changeable with their emotions the way a Pulsatilla is. So they'll be a bit more grounded in that. They are on the same triad as sulfur. So sulfur I talked about last week, and so the sulfur was the big personality, and they're also very earthy in the same way that a Calc is. But sulfur is going to have I want to say almost a more exciting personality, or they like excitement, and they thrive off chaos. Calc can also thrive off chaos too, but in a different way, like more around the home. So a Calc would be happy with having a lot of children or a lot of pets or both, and having that chaos around the home. Whereas sulfur is maybe more inspired. Like they both, and it's interesting because they have a lot of similarities, and then they both like to take in a lot of information. But Calc would be more the type to sort of skim over things, like not delve as deeply into it as a sulfur would. And they can also remember these obscure facts and things like that as well, but they're not going to delve as deeply as a sulfur would. And they are quite sociable as well, and so they love to chat. Like a Calc is generally pretty chatty and really easygoing, and they can tend to be late for things, so they would be the one who would be like the last to the party and then the last to leave, because once they get there, why leave? They're just kind of happy to be there and hang out and chat, and they're the one that can take an hour at the door saying goodbye, generally. they're very like salt of the earth type people. You can count on them. They usually aren't big adventurers. Like they would be the type to be born and raised in the same town. And I don't actually know a lot of Calcs. I only know a couple of them. And I think a lot of them might live on the prairies in the like farming and stuff like that earthy, reliable, staying in the same place for years and years. Calcs would like that. So I mean, the Calcs that I've known have been really, really enjoyable, really easy to be around, but they can also be very slow. So they do things in their own time. Calcs will do things in their own time, and what would take another constitution an hour or two to accomplish, it can take a Calc the whole day. that can drive people crazy. So Calc is a big remedy that I use for that. Like this, like I talked about, the slowness with the children with the teething, right? So it can help the teeth start to come out because there's that slowness with Calc, and stubbornness, like to the point of being obstinate. Like a Calc child, for example, it's very like once they start on something, they want to finish it. And so if you're dealing with a Calc child, you kind of have to let them finish it. They're not great at moving, like not great with transitions. They're not great with change, right? So like changing over to a new task, yeah, they're going to dig their heels in. They're going to be stubborn about it to the point of being obstinate. So yeah, just know that with Calc children, you kind of have to let them finish out what they're doing. It's just the way they are. And yeah, they can sort of avoid taking on new things because they don't like that change. They can actually even sometimes feel nervous being away from the home. Like they like to be at home. They like to be around family. So they're very, very grounded, very, and they, even if they are sort of, like take for an example, a Calc who is very concerned with pollution or environmental issues. They're not going to look at things from a global scale. They're going to look at more things local. So they would help with sort of local pursuits because, yeah, they like to be close to home. And they're not about going out and adventuring and things like that. So, yeah, that's Calc in a nutshell. And so if you are a Calc or if you know a Calc, I would love to hear from you and hear your experience with the Calc Constitution. And I had said that I was going to do a bonus video for the Constitution series because I had been asked this fantastic question by one of my clients who had said, what Constitution would I be good with? Would I be compatible with? I thought, oh, that's a great question. So I am going to do a bonus video on Constitution compatibility because there is sort of a theory that certain constitutions fit best with certain constitutions. And so I'm just going to go over that quickly for people who are interested in that. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and then you'll get a notification when I put that out. And then after I do the bonus video, I'm going to start a series on phenotypes. So if you've gone through and you've listened to all of the constitutional videos and you feel like you don't really fit in any of the constitutions, there could be a reason for that. And that reason could be a phenotype. And so I'm going to tell you about phenotypes coming up in 2 weeks. All right, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you enjoyed this and I will talk to you soon.